So we've already compared the OnePlus 7 and the OnePlus 7 Pro's cameras against the likes of phones like the Asus 6Z and the Oppo Reno 10X Zoom. Having said that, today's camera comparison is probably going to be the most important one of 2019, at least as far as you, the end consumers, are concerned. Yes, we're going to be comparing the Redmi K20 Pro, which is probably the most hyped phone this year, against the OnePlus 7 and the OnePlus 7 Pro's cameras. So I am really excited to find out the outcome of this camera comparison. So without any further ado, I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone, and let's get this battle started. But before we move on, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. A lot of hard work and effort goes into making these videos, so it's a very humble request. Please do that. Also, this video has been sponsored by the good folks over at squarespace.com. Squarespace is this all-in-one website design service. In fact, Squarespace is one of the best tools that can be used to create a website from scratch, even if you don't have a working knowledge of HTML. In case you want to know more about Squarespace, stay tuned till the end of the video. As far as the specs are concerned, the primary rear camera uses the same Sony IMX586 half-inch 48MP sensor on all the three phones. This sensor is on every second phone in the market. The K20 Pro and the OnePlus 7 Pro come with triple camera setups. The K20 Pro has a 13 megapixel wide-angle camera and an 8MP telephoto lens with 2x optical zoom. On the other hand, the OnePlus 7 Pro has a 16 megapixel wide-angle camera and an 8 megapixel zoom camera with a longer 78mm lens for a theoretical max of 3x optical zoom. The OnePlus 7's dual camera setup has a secondary 5 megapixel depth sensor. You can take a closer look at the specs while I move on to the pictures. As is customary with our camera comparisons, we have a wide shot of our office parking lot first. Here we are mostly checking for sensor detail and sharpness. And right off the bat, the K20 Pro goes for the kill with sharpness across the board from the center to the corners. In fact, it is surprising how soft the OnePlus 7 and the 7 Pro's pictures look. Also, there is visible noise at the edges of the picture, which has been well contained by the K20 Pro. That's not it. When you switch to the 48 megapixel shot, the K20 Pro again impresses with the details on offer. Undoubtedly, the K20 Pro wins this round of testing. Considering the K20 Pro and the OnePlus 7 Pro both come with a dedicated wide-angle camera, we've decided to compare images shot from this lens. Unfortunately, the OnePlus 7 doesn't have a wide-angle camera and it loses out as a result. The K20 Pro definitely beats the OnePlus 7 Pro with its wider 125-degree field of view compared to the 117-degree field of view achieved by the 7 Pro. Both the phones offer a decent software-based lens distortion correction around the corners of the image, as you can see in the sample. But when it comes to image quality, the OnePlus 7 Pro is leagues ahead of the Redmi. The K20 Pro offers flat images, whereas the OnePlus 7 Pro has a very good dynamic range and contrast on offer. And even the details at closer crop are much finer and intense in the OnePlus 7 Pro's sample. I take the better looking picture over a wider field of view any day. Evidently, I prefer the OnePlus 7 Pro's wide-angle camera over the K20 Pro's. Once again, the OnePlus 7 is at a bit of a disadvantage due to the lack of a dedicated telephoto camera. That said, when you compare the 2x digital zoom picture of the OnePlus 7 against the 7 Pro and the K20 Pro, it doesn't look half bad really. Anyway, the OnePlus 7 Pro has an immediate advantage with its 2.2x cropped into 3x photo with better details and contrast. Once again, the K20 Pro's flat image looks a little bland. I'd go with the OnePlus 7 Pro in a heartbeat if I want to go close in on the subjects. In our close-up samples, we can see a shot of this flaming red flower on the screen right now. The OnePlus phones have tried to stay true to the color of the flower with slightly oversaturated reds. However, you can clearly see that the cameras struggle and end up blowing the reds. Therefore, the color bleed causes the finer details to vanish. Now the K20 Pro has ended up making the flower look dull, but it has retained the fine image quality. In fact, at closer crop, you will notice that the Redmi K20 Pro offers sharp details. I'd go with the K20 Pro for this picture. Between the OnePlus 7 and the 7 Pro, the latter offers a slightly better picture. In our second sample, I really like the dynamic range and contrast on offer as captured by the OnePlus siblings. The K20 Pro has a much flatter image once again. However, at closer crop, you see finer details on the K20 Pro sample. Overall, the K20 Pro offers better details, while the dynamic range improvements on the OnePlus 7 Pro make the photos better looking. I'd pick the K20 Pro as the go-to camera for close-up shots, but it's not like the OnePlus siblings are bad or anything. It's just that I have a soft corner for better details. Pun completely intended. When it comes to portrait mode, all the three phones approach it differently. The OnePlus 7 Pro and the K20 Pro use the telephoto cameras to close in on the subject. Therefore, you see varying sizes of Shri because of the different focal lengths on offer here. The picture captured by the OnePlus 7 Pro shows Shri in the right size. Now when it comes to the facial tones, the Redmi K20 Pro is closer to real life. The OnePlus 7 Pro offers a slightly red color, whereas the OnePlus 7 is warmer. Details wise, both the OnePlus 7 and 7 Pro offer more details on the face, but the overexposed table and the shirt in the K20 Pro samples are definitely an eyesore. There is a lot of highlight clipping that you can see in the picture. When it comes to edge cutout, all the three phones are almost on par except for the OnePlus 7 that misses blurring out the part between Shri's right hand and his body. Based purely on the image quality, the OnePlus 7 Pro comes out on top. That said, the K20 Pro offers you the option to edit the level of blur by adjusting the software-based aperture levels. And furthermore, it has a few unique filters as well that gives it a bit of an edge in portrait photography. In our HDR test, the K20 Pro's HDR sample suffers from highlight clipping and there is a pale white cast all over the image. The dynamic range correction by the HDR algorithm of OnePlus 7 Pro and OnePlus 7 are far better, and the mid-tones are excellent on both the images. Now when it comes to the color accuracy, the OnePlus 7's oversaturation with deep reds and unnatural greens makes it slightly less desirable compared to the OnePlus 7 Pro. Overall, the OnePlus 7 Pro comes out on top. Let's take a look at the selfies now. I spent a good amount of time looking at the images, and I have come to a conclusion that Xiaomi really needs to tweak the algorithm. Because Xiaomi selfie is replete with details, so much so that the OnePlus 7 and 7 Pro feel soft in comparison. However, Xiaomi tends to crank up the highlights and therefore ends up overexposing the image and killing the dynamic range entirely. The picture with not much of a dynamic range is a bit too harsh in the current state compared to the OnePlus 7 Pro and the OnePlus 7. The OnePlus 7 selfie is a little bit too soft in my opinion though. I will actually choose the OnePlus 7 Pro and the K20 Pro as joint winners in selfie round just because they have individual strengths that outweigh each other. When it comes to portraits from the front camera, the OnePlus 7 Pro is clearly the better of the three. The K20 Pro's overexposure issues start raising its ugly head once again, and that affects the background blur as well. Moreover, there are a few edge detection issues that are a little annoying. Overall, the OnePlus 7 Pro and the OnePlus 7 offer better selfie portraits right now. Maybe a software update can fix the issue on the K20 Pro. Let's talk about video recording. All the phones can shoot 4K 60fps video, and therefore we decided to record samples at highest possible quality. By the way, apologies on my state, it is pretty humid in Delhi right now, so that's why the sweat on the shirt. Anyway, the three phones can do gyro-based EIS and you will immediately notice that stabilization is pretty good. However, the OnePlus 7 Pro and the OnePlus 7 also offer OIS for 1080p footage, so that definitely gives it a bit of an advantage. Now when it comes to image quality of the video, you get a higher bitrate of around 160 Mbit per second when shooting with the OnePlus siblings, which means that you have much higher file sizes. Higher bitrates means that more information is stored. This is evident from the good image quality of the footage and the higher dynamic range on offer. Overall though, even the Redmi K20 Pro's footage looks good, but it is definitely not retaining a lot of information. However, the K20 Pro can also shoot 4K 60fps video using the wide angle camera, which is definitely an added advantage. That said, the OnePlus 7 phones are also supposed to get video recording on the wide angle lens, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Hey guys, we're shooting a video using the OnePlus 7 Pro and the OnePlus 7 at 4K 60fps to check for image quality, image stabilization and the sound recording as well. Actually pans me around slightly. The light is against me right now, and what the video can do with stabilization. In our 1080p selfie video test, the OnePlus 7 and the OnePlus 7 Pro cut a big chunk of frame, but they do it for gyro-based EIS. This ensures that the footage is stable. Image stabilization is not available on the K20 Pro, but you do get a wider field of view. However, the footage quality and the sound recording are both better on the OnePlus siblings. Overall, if you want to shoot videos using the front camera, I would suggest picking up the OnePlus 7 or 7 Pro over the K20 Pro. Hey guys, I'm shooting a video using the OnePlus 7 and the OnePlus 7 Pro right now, using the front camera on both these phones to check for image quality, image stabilization and the sound recording as well. Do let us know in the comment section below what you think about the video, what you thought about it, as I tell you what I feel about the video recording quality as I pan around slightly and show you guys what happens when the light is against me, right? All the three phones can shoot 240 FPS slow motion footage at 1080p resolution. I couldn't really see any perceptible difference in image quality as such. But the K20 Pro can do 960 FPS, and that is definitely a major advantage. Just because of that reason, the Redmi K20 Pro comes out on top. In indoor conditions shooting under a bright tube light, the Redmi K20 Pro offers a better color temperature and exposure. Even the color accuracy and details are way better. In fact, if you look at the curtains are reproduced in the right color, whereas on the OnePlus 7 and the 7 Pro, it looks a little pink. The K20 Pro tends to keep a little noise for more details, and that I think is the ideal way of processing pictures. Because you can see that the OnePlus 7 and the OnePlus 7 Pro have both smudged the details. Unfortunately, the OnePlus 7 takes a softer image compared to the OnePlus 7 Pro. This seems to be an issue after the 9.5.6 update. Did you guys face it too? Moving to selfies shot indoors, once again the K20 Pro's image looks like someone added an extra light. You know, it's just, therefore the shirt is just overexposed and there's a lot of highlight clipping once again. In fact, the shirt on the OnePlus 7's sample is also slightly overexposed. The exposure control and the color accuracy on the OnePlus 7 Pro's selfie is really good, making it the winner in this round. Finally, we come to the low light performance on these phones, and this is where the K20 Pro loses out. Taking a look at the first image without nightscape mode on, you can clearly see that the OnePlus siblings are brighter and offer better noise control, which you can see at closer crop. However, the green cast on the OnePlus 7's image looks completely odd. With the nightscape on, the OnePlus 7 Pro's image looks way better than the K20 Pro. The green cast is amplified once again on the OnePlus 7 in night mode for some reason. In the second image, the OnePlus shots are slightly underexposed compared to the K20 Pro. And the OnePlus 7 and 7 Pro go for aggressive noise correction as well. With nightscape mode on, the pictures look way better on the OnePlus phones now. In fact, without even zooming in, you can see the spotty details and badly done contrast in the night mode image shot by the K20 Pro. Actually, come to think of it, the K20 Pro's low light performance is very similar to what we can achieve on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. I have to test that claim, but I have a strong feeling that it is indeed similar processing. With flash on, the OnePlus 7 Pro and the OnePlus 7 are slightly better than the K20 Pro. In fact, at 100% crop, you can clearly see better details and color reproduction in the area around the pillow and the bed. However, the K20 Pro redeems itself in the low light selfie test. The camera draws in more light and the color accuracy, especially of the black t-shirt, is way better. Overall, everyone will agree that the K20 Pro selfie in less than adequate light looks great. With flash on, the OnePlus selfies look slightly better, but the K20 Pro just kills it with the details despite the slightly uneven lighting. Before we look at the final standings, let's quickly take a look at squarespace.com. So if you go to their website, you will see easy to use templates that can be utilized to create a website of your own. In fact, Squarespace can also help you create a massive e-commerce website if you wish. When you create a template, you will see that you can actually customize it for mobile view and web view. Squarespace is flexible that way, and the learning curve is next to nil. So what are you waiting for? Go try out Squarespace to build your website today. And in case you like the service, don't forget to avail the special Mr. Phone discount. Alright, so we are done with our comparison, and what you see on screen is the final points tally. Yes, the OnePlus 7 Pro comes out on top thanks mainly to the great low light performance, good quality wide angle processing, and finally longer zoom capability with very little loss of detail. The OnePlus 7 has unfortunately been mostly disappointing in camera performance. Here's another thing, the K20 Pro supports Gcam and the pictures I took look way better. Here are a couple of initial pictures using the same Mi 9 Gcam build. I shall link the Gcam build and the config file below as well. So what do you guys think? incredible difference, right? Well, let me know if you guys want like a stock plus Gcam comparison. We will definitely plan a video. But boy, does the K20 Pro's picture surprise you or what? Yes, the low light performance could have been slightly better, and the selfies have a lot of highlight clipping and overexposure issues for sure. But if you're going to be shooting indoors and if you're going to be shooting in daylight conditions, which is probably most people's use cases, you're going to love the K20 Pro, and especially at that price, it feels like a great deal. To sum it up, I am genuinely surprised at the quality of pictures that you get with the K20 Pro. Of course, there are a few misgivings. Having said that, for the price, I think that the K20 Pro is an excellent option, and it's looking like an unbeatable proposition if you're looking for a phone under rupees 30,000. So hope you like this comparison. Don't forget to hit the comment section and give your views on the same. Until next time, this is Ershad from Mr. Phone signing off. Goodbye and Godspeed, my friends.